Welcome, everybody. My name is Heiko. I'm a resident here at Sunburst, and I'm grateful to be the speaker for today's Sunday service. So today's talk is titled Temperance, the Strength in Moderation. And as I was developing my talk for today, I was thinking about the strength and moderation to overcome obstacles, as a little added there. I wanted to say that temperance is one of the 12 virtues that we here at Sunburst do practice, and we overlay those virtues throughout the year, and we kind of lay them on top of the different 12 astrological signs in the zodiac. So this being the time of our Capricorn, which is between December 22nd and January 19th, we feel that weather, that influence of the energy of temperance hitting the earth, and in particular us here today. So temperance, one of the things that the word comes from is to temper, to strengthen through a process. And of course I got curious and I looked it up, wanting to know more about it. And it is basically, if you take to temper metal in particular, you take a rod of metal, and if you heat a given spot on that rod so that it's like glowing hot, and then if you bend that rod, it'll be malleable and it'll bend. And then if you take that point where it's super hot and you dip it in ice cold water, it goes through this like instant freeze process so that the molecular structure, the atoms in the metal, are like frozen in time again, but in a way that they're not comfortable. And so what can happen is if you take that metal and you try to unbend it, it'll snap. It'll break right there at that point where you had heated it up and gave it the shock treatment with cold water. But if you take that same piece of metal and before you try to snap it, if you gently heat it up again and then cool it down again, the atoms, you're allowing those atoms to relax and to rearrange themselves into this new and stable form that you have created, that bend. And so that is a great analogy as to what temperance can do for us on a spiritual path, because as we are practicing this virtue of temperance, when we come around and we give ourselves the time in our circle here today, and also throughout our month, I guess, and any time really, to focus on temperance, we have a better understanding about our relationship, if you will, with this experience of life that we are leading, and how this experience of life is developing us, creating a certain strength within our core that we would not necessarily have if we didn't go through our ups and downs, our heating and our cooling processes in our lives. And it strengthens us. It strengthens us It gives us not the rigidity to where we snap, but it strengthens us in a way that we can handle what's coming at us, and we can bend, but come back into form that is still recognizable as somewhat of our original form. We change, but we are different and stronger. So it's a kind temperance, when you focus in our meditations on temperance, it's a kind of test. If we look inward, how far have we gone in our lives up to this point? What have we endured? And how have we come through that process, not necessarily unscathed, but strengthened, changed, and in a way better for that experience. I can think of my own personal experience when I was younger. When I was working on this talk, I have a picture of this boat above my desk at home. It's the big sailboat that I had the opportunity to be a part of that crew when I was very young. And I remembered, went back to those experiences, and I remembered how those experiences had tempered me in very quickly, and gave me kind of a check to see where I was at in my own personal life. Graduated high school, and the first thing that I did after that point was I went to help sail a sailboat from the East Coast to the West Coast. And, totally green, thinking that I kind of knew it all already coming out of high school. And also, interaction with people was, let's just say, rough at that time when I first started that journey. And the experiences were really hard. Like you're living with, 15 other people practically on top of each other. And the boat needed all kinds of help. And basically we that trip took about 5 months. And in that 5 months, I came out the other end, realizing that I had gone through something pretty difficult, harder than I had ever experienced anything before, up to that point in life. But after that, that experience, I could relate all of my other experience going forward with a new kind of sense of strength. Like, basically, I had gone through this other thing, and I know that I had become stronger because of it, and that I was able to endure it, and I was able to have a longer time and sustain in strength in the experiences that I was having from then on. And if we look back through our lives, I am sure that we can come up with some examples that have also changed us and has made us stronger and made us more resilient, if you will, to the weather that we experience in our lives. An analogy that comes to mind is to shape ourselves, our spiritual selves, into a diamond. And a diamond kind of goes through a process where it is, coal is put under heavy pressure for a long time, and it becomes clearer and crystallized, and it becomes a transformed material that is different from when it starts out. And of course, I had to kind of take a quick look to see, well, how long does a diamond take to form? And the all-knowing internet came back with 1 to 3.3 billion years. And then I said, well, geesh, well, how long does the internet think that the world has been alive? And it came back with 4.5 billion years. So it takes, give or take, 50 million years. So it takes a long time to affect change and to hone yourself into a crystal, spiritually speaking. But we do try on our spiritual journey. We temper our understanding of life. We temper our nerves to handle what comes to us. We temper our spirit to resolve for our goals, to gain resolve for our goals. Even in the hardest of times, when we end that experience and we look back, we know that it has changed us and it has strengthened us. And we ask inwardly, Spirit, always, are you with me? Because in every moment in our lives, we are here with Spirit. We are alive and awake because Spirit is within us and giving us that life force in every moment. So a lot of times when you look at temperance, you see things that are written about karma. And so those two things appear to be enjoined. This concept that you reap what you sow, what you are experiencing in this very moment has kind of came from a place of experience from the past. And in Eastern philosophy, it also means your past lifetimes, but it also means your current past in this life, and it also means what you are projecting for your future. The word karma is defined as action, so it doesn't mean bad or good. It means how you have interacted with this duality, this experience that we are all in, and how this experience is shaping you in essentially like a school for spirits to evolve and to become co-creators and become caretakers of this beautiful garden that we all are experiencing in this very same moment. And Yogananda, who is a great teacher, who, like Norm Paulson, who's the founder of Sunburst, that was his teacher. Yogananda wrote many books and started a group called Self-Realization Fellowship. He, of course, wants to shake things up, and here's some of the things he has said on this subject matter. He said he doesn't want us, in particular, to perceive ourselves as psychological antiques, brittle, with just one set of ideas that we follow, or one set of influences that we follow. Because, he says, the minute one sits on them, they break. So, we have to open our consciousness, our awareness, that even though temperance, to temper ourselves, means to strengthen ourselves and to create resolve, it does not mean that we become brittle in our thinking and in our actions, because we have to stay steadfast on our and on our goal, our spiritual goal within us, and then that is where our steadfastness comes into play and animates us in this life. So I wanted to read a little something from Yogananda that he wrote about habits, which are interlocked with karma, with our actions. There may be 1,000,000 years of actions of past lives pursuing you. That is why an ordinary individual finds themselves so helplessly to destroy the binding effects of their karma. They feel hopelessly bound by those invisible chains, influences resulting from all the actions they have chosen to perform in their past lives. Through free will and through prevailing influences. As tabloid tendencies, the actions you have performed in the past are present in the brain, and diagnosing those karmic influences is not a simple matter, but according to your salient features, the inclinations and moods, you can detect the propensities that have been trailing you and how strong an influence they are on your present life and in your present actions. So the question is, in terms of karma, how strong of an influence does our past karma have on our current state, on our current outlook in life? And in terms of moderation and karma, we can see that by creating less a karma that creates traps for us as we go through our lives, the more we are able to focus our attention to that source within us and to get clarity on our purpose in life. And as we go into meditation, I wanted to read something very ponderous that we can take with us into our meditation. When you want to create a good habit or destroy a bad one, concentrate on the brain cells and the storehouse of the mechanisms of habits. To create a good habit, meditate, and then with concentration, fix at the point in the Christ center, the center of will between the eyebrows. Deeply affirm the good habit that you want to install. And when you want to destroy a bad habit, concentrate at the Christ center again and deeply affirm that all the grooves of this bad habit are being erased. So let us go now into our meditation time. double back a little bit and speak to that experience that I was speaking of earlier in my youth when I was on that big sailboat on that journey. And looking back now on that experience, and if I ever had the chance to have an experience like that again in the future, I think I would probably enjoy myself more. Because of that first experience, that experience taught me how to learn about myself, and I learned how to interact in that environment in such a way that I understood it better. And so having that type of experience again, I would probably enjoy all the characters that you meet along the way more, and the experience of the boat sailing and the waves crashing, and it's not so much about seasickness, it's about that feeling of movement and roll and the sea breeze and so on, and the places that you visit. Because I know that those experiences end and there's new ones, new chapters that start. And while we fill our book of life every day, we really are also in a position to enjoy ourselves and to experience that feeling of, this is okay, this is strengthening me. And we look back at those experiences in fondness as we move forward. We take the best, we forget the rest. And in our spiritual journey, it's very similar. In the beginning, we find our footing. What do we believe in? What do we hold dear? Where should our focus be in life? And as we get some time on ourselves, we can see how these priorities have played out. We build new ways to consider our options moving into the future. Because we are here to move, to become stronger, to gain our footing, and to exalt in our spiritual endeavors. So let us think about our future with enthusiasm. What is to come? And the gratefulness and the gratitude that we can have in this moment. We have strengthened our resolve to come, to sit, to be with Spirit. And that means that we have done our spiritual work to get us here. We can wear it like a badge. and move forward in strength. So, Divine Spirit, thank you for being here in our consciousness, beckoning us always forward, always to love, that we stride harder, but we are able to move forward in the strength that we have been tempered with. The love in our heart grows for you. Amen.
And wisdom that I might see you all around me. I call out to thee, my Lord, I pray to thee. Give me strength and grant me grace and wisdom that I might see you within me. I want to see your face. I want to hear your voice. I want to feel your touch. Help me to feel your love. Help me to share your love. Help me to share your love. To thee, my Lord, I pray to thee. Give me strength and grant me grace and wisdom that I might see you all around me. I call out to thee, my Lord, I pray to thee. Give me strength and grant me grace and wisdom that I might see you within me. I want to see your face. I want to hear your voice. I want to feel your touch. Help me to feel your love. Help me to share your love.